Up to board members. I'll start with Commissioner Reinhardt and then Commissioner Fredham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you to the staff for putting together all of that information because it paints a pretty clear and dark picture. And I appreciate the fact that we stepped up to the plate and we contacted the Department of Corrections out of concern, not about the budget, but about people that are in our jail and need medical care, need to get to appointments, and having an issue as outlined by Director Holly. People make bad decisions and they end up in our correctional system. There are all kinds of reasons that happens too, and that's a whole different discussion. But the fact is they're there. And they are human beings, and when we talk about all are valued and thrive in Ramsey County, it doesn't matter where they are, their circumstances. We treat them with respect, and we take care of what we are responsible for when they are in our care. So I'm so glad that we followed every step we possibly could. And unlike what the sheriff would like the public to believe that this is a budgetary issue, it isn't. Clearly, he spent more money than he had, and he continues to do that. And I don't know how we can deal with that ultimately. But it's not as if the sheriff didn't know that there were budgetary issues all of last year. It was put in front of them many, many times, along with solutions. Our chief financial officer worked with them hours and hours and hours to make sure that if there was a problem from what we were doing as far as the accounting, we fixed it. We said, okay, we get that. We can move that around so that it's more in line with the way you're trying to do your budget. It wasn't that anybody did anything wrong. It was just like, okay, I get your point. We can adjust to that. But it was as if the solutions that we provided wasn't as if. They were ignored. Because they knew ultimately that they could come back to us and say, hey, we overspent by $2.6 or $2.4 million. And what are we going to do? And at the same time, though, the budget issues are a concern. And we need to deal with them. But we need a partner in doing that. Not somebody that's trying to stick it to the taxpayers. Because that's what this is. 2.6 or 2.4?
Madam Chair, we don't totally know yet.
Okay. A lot of money. And 21% decrease in the population there. And we still have these issues. Along with the 1 million that they got that we added because they said there were concerns. And we said, okay, again, working in partnership. It's not just ignoring the county board. It's ignoring the constituents of this county. Because those are taxpayer dollars that were spent, and the outcomes, if the outcomes had been better, if people had been taken care of, it would still be wrong, but at least we would have better outcomes for people, and that's what this is about. It is about safety, absolutely. And are we willing to work with the sheriff on making sure that we provide the funds needed to keep people safe? Yes, we are. We need those jail population numbers. We need to have contact. We need the updated answers. We need responses. I know that, for example, the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota has repeatedly asked for a response to his concerns that were raised. And as far as I know, he has never received a response. The Attorney General for the state of Minnesota can't get an answer to serious allegations. When the issues were raised that were provided to us, as examples. And Director Holly, I'm sure it was very hard for her to hear those and to try to say, okay, we need to get to the bottom of it. I'm not going to make a judgment without talking to the sheriff, and repeatedly asked, can you please talk to us? Tell us what happened, because all we're getting is one thing, although it was more than one incident. And again, it's not just one incident. This is something that is systemic, and we need to deal with it. And I am so pleased that the sheriff has agreed to sit down, and I'm trying not to be, I'm trying to be hopeful. Let's try it that way. I'm trying to be hopeful, because as you can see in all of these all this documentation, we've had promise after promise after promise, and they haven't been fulfilled. I think it's important to note that, again, as budget chair, I know, they know, that this isn't about the budget. They spent the over $2 million, and it didn't help. In fact, things were worse, to the point that we felt that we had to report ourselves. I mean, that's not something we do out of spite. That isn't something we do out of anything other than the concern about the welfare of the people in our adult detention center. That was it. There is no gain for us other than that safety of those individuals. None. In fact, there is a huge downside because of the cost that there will be there. So I don't even want to think about the fact that this is, and I know it's being painted this way, that it is somehow political and it's just about the money. We wouldn't do this. We didn't do this in a vacuum. We tried to get answers. We tried to make sure that the directives from corrections, health services, and corrections, that those things were heard and understood, and they were ignored. So this isn't about politics. This is strictly about safety and the treatment of people within our system, and getting a culture change, because this has got to stop. Not only are we not safer, not only are the inmates or the people that are held there, they're not inmates at the Adult Correction Center because they have not been convicted yet, are safe, and that the people on the streets are safe. I don't know how to say this any stronger, because, again, I am hopeful that this is a wake-up call to not only us, which it was when we had to do the Department of Corrections reporting, but to the sheriff. We want to be part of the solution, and it's not all about money, as you can tell by the budget overspend and by the reduction in the population. Our judges, everyone involved, the county attorney's office, want to be involved in resolving this. And we need the sheriff there as a partner. In the meantime, we took the actions that we needed to keep people safe. And it's just that simple. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Reinhardt. Commissioner Fretham.